Alright, a few pages into this comic, I thought I was going to be ripping this up, but it got lucky. This is the Bill Bungalow issue that really just ruins Nemesis and the good two-parter that Byrne did. This is Alpha Strike issue 31, and it brings Ernest and Nemesis back, and it thinks that it should resolve those characters when they needed not resolution. Nice cover, the Michael Elboy covers are good, and the insides, the interior art, that is still good, but a lot of the time it's less stylistic than you expect from them. Although this is a bad page to say that, because it is. I had never read this before, but I knew about the stupid ending and all the reveals. I just didn't know much of the context. And to Bill Bungalow's credit, he did actually think up a good way to bring Ernest back to life. I said in my review of issue 8 that Nemesis killed him, and I just assumed that Bill Bungalow ignored that, like he ignores most of those two issues. But actually, he didn't. Last issue, when Scramble was using his transmutation powers, he went down into the morgue and he wound up putting Ernest's body back together. So that is how he returned to life. If you want to bring Ernest back, that's fine. Giving them another recurring baddie, that's a good idea. But this doesn't do that. This brings him back just to kill him again and make his overall story worse. Nice art page here of Nemesis. The writing is straight away bad. And much like how Bill Bungalow misunderstood Warwick Davis's dwarfism being the source of his pain, Bill Bungalow spectacularly misunderstands many of Nemesis's statements in those other issues. He takes almost all of what she said literal, and now she isn't a swashbuckling vigilante. She exists just to stop Ernest. She exists as Nemesis because she has to stop Ernest, not because she was a vigilante inspired by Alpha Strike, like she said in the Byrne issues. I was surprised to get some fallout from the last issue with Scramble, and we have some enormous Karma Houdini with him, as well as Warwick Davis blathering on about all the pain he is in, which is teasing the next issue, which I didn't have and I will hopefully never read. The one where we find out Warwick Davis isn't suffering from being a dwarf, but from an evil demon sword trapped inside him. Other things that Bill Bungalow didn't get. Here we have Northman, and he talks about when his ex-boyfriend died in issue 7. He was killed by Ernest. But now his ex-boyfriend is described as a man who was like a father to me, which makes their relationship gone from A nice understated bit of gay representation in a time when there was little gay representation, to now involving incestual undertones. The subplot pages with Narnia and Talisman, they were the best bits because I find them characters boring, but there isn't anything being broken or ruined here. Talisman has gone missing on one of his spiritual vision quests, and Narnia is trying to find him. And I think this might be the backstory behind why Talisman becomes detached and miserable and starts wearing a woman's costume in the subsequent runs I have read. He surrenders himself to his mystic power, and we're back with the crap. We get a recap of issues 7 and 8 with a few inserts to make Bill Bungalow's reveal seem like it was planned all along. Stuff like Nemesis supposedly saying at some point in that story that her blade was forged specifically for the task of killing her greatest enemy, Ernest. And her hair colour is changed. It was red in the first appearance. Here it is grey. I really didn't enjoy this at all. The writing is so bad. It's not just that I didn't like this idea or this new take on Nemesis. I get that writers can come on and radically change the course for Summit, but the attached plot and writing, it's dreadful. My blade, which should be burning with desire to drink deeply of Ernest's immortality, blazes but dimly. Her sword is now a magic sword that has soul energy in it, and it seems I have jinxed myself by letting my anger overcome my pledge of abstinence. It also appears that as my years multiply, so do my enemies. Awful writing. And the action as everything about this, the scripting, the plot, this is Christopher Clairvoyant. It's not him, it's Bill Bungalow, but this is like Christopher Clairvoyant wrote it. It's like the most Christopher Clairvoyant plotting and scripting possible. Everyone is thinking in nothing but lengthy, unnecessary purple prose, and we have a decent moral dilemma that Bill Bungalow botches. The end point is Warwick Davis, he has to use Nemesis' sword to kill Ernest, even though when he joined Alpha Strike, he swore never to kill again. That is... Oh, and by the way, look at all the fucking thought ballooning with Warwick Davis on these 2 pages. It is disgusting. But yeah, the character thing, it's not important. What is important is Bill Bungalow seeding his next issue about how Warwick Davis is small because of a demon sword, and how him using this sword here is like that. This is such an annoying comic. And at the end, we get back to Nemesis, who did very little in this story. and the reveal about how she is actually Ernest's daughter who has lived for almost a century, and her destiny was to kill her father. And now that she has done so, she crumbles into dust. Why didn't this happen in issue 8 when she killed him then? I'd rather they just never brought her back if this is what we get. Everything about this, it feels like a hatchet job. Like an editor had a list of loose ends and unresolved stuff from Jason Byrne's run, and now Bill Bungalow is just getting rid of as much of them as he can. I didn't enjoy this at all. I am going to award this my infamous Golden Splat Award alongside its 7 thumbs up. Piss weak.